Good morning, good afternoon, gentlemen, and welcome to UkraineDating.tv. Um, today's topic is modern men are settling, and can Ukrainian women be the cure? Okay, so so let me play the video. Actually, we have to do a new thing here. What? Hold on a second, you guys. Sorry about this. I am just looking at some stuff here to do. Okay. So, welcome, gentlemen. Okay. Anyway, so let me play the video first. And hi, Santos. Are you the only one watching? Okay, so it's just you and I. All right, let me play the video first, and then we can discuss this.
Never settle when you're looking for a life partner, because I've actually seen that happen over and over and over again. I'll take, for example, a friend of mine that I've known for years. Settled for somebody that really wasn't somebody he was super interested in. Settled because he didn't want to work harder on himself to find the person he was really looking for. And what ended up happening is the relationship failed, and then she dragged him through the mud afterwards. Really just be willing to put the time and effort into yourself, work on yourself to be the best version of you can be, exude that confidence, and that will attract the person you really belong with.
Well, guys, okay, so I have to agree with this gentleman about this. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. Okay, I'm sitting too low. This chair. Anyway, so I said that before, and I'll say it again. That the most important decision you're ever gonna make is your life partner. Next one, probably be a career, what you need to take in school, especially if you have to spend 8 years, sometimes even 10 years in school. Would be a good idea to make sure that that's exactly what you want and not just go, oh, kind of like me. I thought I wanted to do architectural technologies. First semester loved it, second semester hated it, and then I realized I didn't want to sit in the cubicle all day and do all the hard work for the architect. So yeah, but like I said before, a partner can either make you or break you, and if you choose poorly, it's on you. Not all the times, but if you see the red flags and you're still thinking, oh well, I'm gonna change her, I'm gonna change him, or I'm gonna fix him or fix her, no, it's just no. If you see red flags, just simply walk away. And I understand a little red flag here and there, maybe that's fine, while you're getting to know each other, that's understandable. But if it's a big red flag, just don't don't bother, because people can not change unless they want to change. They will not change. They will not change for anyone other than themselves. And most people, they're so in their old ways, they don't want to. And I see a lot of Western modern women that they have it set in their head where they're just like, well, no, I need a man sixes. What is it, like 6 pack, 6 feet tall, and up, and then six figures, and then I don't. That's pretty. I'm stuck. So I know 3 of 6s. Anyway, my point being is that settling is usually a mistake. Take it from me. I settled for someone, wasted 15 years of my life, and not just wasted, but it was bad. Okay, so I also thought I can change him, but no. That just after 15 years, I realized, it's just lost cause, and I don't recommend it to anyone. I also have another friend that got pushed into getting married because his family, they're from Syria, and I guess Middle Eastern people, they're like, oh, he was 30 years old, and it's like, oh, you're 30, you don't have any kids, you're not married, what's wrong with you? Are you gay or whatever? So he just basically got pushed into getting married. He has two beautiful children from the marriage, but the marriage was messed up from day one because he didn't have feelings for her. I don't think she had feelings for him either. I don't know about. Like, I only heard his side of the story, but that's the fact. And getting a divorce is, and he's a very successful man, so getting a divorce is a pain in the butt. And like I said, your partner can make you or break you. I've known of I know of marriages where the man had nothing. He met the good woman. She stayed on his case. She had, well, one big example, Stephen King. So years ago, before I think he was working for a post office, or he was a teacher or something, and I think he was a teacher, and he was writing, and he would always let his wife read all of his work. But this time he was very frustrated and he just threw it away. She was taking out garbage. She found the script and she read it, and she came back to him. She came to him and she's like, "What is this? Why did you throw it away?" He's like, "Oh, I hate it. It's just not good." And she was like, "No, this is good. You need to keep working on it." And he was like, he was eminent on he didn't want to do it, but she pushed him into it, and it turned out to be his first book that blew him out of the water. Some It's called Carrie something something. Anyway, and he got $400,000, and it was in 70s, I think, or something like this, or 80s. And if she didn't see that script, he would have still been working because he decided to give up. And now he's one of the biggest writers in the world. So there you have it. It's just a matter of having the right partner. Anyway, let me get okay. So again, hi Santos, happy Easter. Thank you, happy Easter to everyone as well. You guys, thank you for coming. Good day, Richard. Good morning, Passport King. Did. Okay, sorry, I'm not rolling the dice with modern women, especially raised in USA or Canada or UK and most Western nations. Well, yeah, I wouldn't either. I'm not sure about Western Europe, what it's like at this point, but I know UK is pretty bad. It's even worse than US at this point, where I thought they're more civilized, but I guess not. The things I hear, well, I just watch news, and I guess honestly, I don't even want to watch news. It's always some depressing stuff. So I pick and choose what, I read the news, I don't watch the news. So, yeah. Over 6 inches of, yes, of eggplant because they are oversized queen. That could be it. I don't know because we have subways here. And 6 inches is more than plenty. Well, for me anyway. I'm pretty sure the most Ukrainian women feel the same way. It's like, yeah, I don't need any extra stuff. It's too much. Anyway, and again, it's not even about, like, women say, "Oh, I need a man to have the certain size of his member and stuff," and I think it's all BS, because unless you are truly in love with someone, you can't really even get off. I know this from my own experience, okay? So I'm letting you know that's not the case. You can, yeah. It's, I mean, for me, It was the first time I ever got off. It was with my man, the one that I in love with. So go figure. Anyway, enough about my sex life, but you know you know, telling you guys. Now I'm in London, and how is London? Oh, by the way, you guys. Okay, I learned something new from my boss. So I'm gonna drop a link here for you. This is the link. If you want to join me for a chat, click on the link. That I just posted there. If you want to come and join me, more than welcome. Okay, so actually they have no walls because their high body count. Passport King, you are a savage, and I love it. I love it. Okay, vacation, and yesterday was a nice nightclub. Ooh, the same as I saw in many places. Most ladies were looking for free drinks and targeting seemingly well-off men. And let me guess what they look like. They look like chubby, and very little clothes and a few extra pounds. That's what I see. And you know what I do? There's one club I go to here, and well, because I like the music there, and what I like about that club is everybody's super chill. It's a very mixed kind of crowd, so there's nobody too fancy. None of these, plastic girls. It's like everybody's normal. A little bit on the weird side too. Some people dress weird, which is fine. I don't really care how you dress. It's really none of my concern as long as you don't, I don't know, put your boobies in my face or whatnot, like leave me alone with your stuff, your beliefs. I don't care what you do, what you believe in, religion or your sexuality is none of my concern as long as you're a good person. If you treat me right, I have no problems with anyone. But yeah, that club that I go to is just I've never seen a girl trying to to finesse somebody to buying her a drink, because that's not the kind of club. It's not the kind of people that go there. Everybody's on their own vibe, I guess. So that's the clubs I like to go to. The regular clubs, no. First of all, I can't even stand mainstream music. It's just I don't listen to it. Any of this Swift, whatever, her Taylor Swift or whatnot. I don't even know her music. I don't listen to any mainstream music whatsoever. So anyway, let's go see Carrie. Yes, that's the one. Yes, that is the one. Carrie, that was made into a movie and got a remake. Yes, Carrie is the one. Yes, yes, that was the one where he threw it away. And like I said, if it wasn't for his wife, he gave up. He was like, he was writing for a long time, and she was always reading his scripts, and I guess it was not good enough for him. But she's like, nope, you're working on it. He's like, I don't want to. And she's like, well, I don't care what you say. It's like, yes, you are. She believed in him. And look at him now. Like, pretty much every single book is, well, maybe not every single book, but most of his books are made into movies, and they're freaking awesome. I mean, I love his movies. Anyway, let's see what else is here. Okay, you guys, English man told me that so many of his country fellow men are struggling to find a good quality ladies because so many are gold diggers. Well, that's the thing about. I just honestly don't understand this um mentality these days. Is that women always expecting a man to take her on a fancy date and he has to impress her. Um, but what? Okay, and they're looking for these high quality men, which is that with their standards, high standards, like six figures. That you're talking about lawyers, you're talking about doctors, six figures. You're talking about CEOs, and most people average salary here in Canada is about $35,000. Maybe 40 So that's average. Okay, anything above like 50, you're already like, oh yeah, I'm doing good in life. So where are these standards coming from? Like, I know they're not making six figures, and if they are making six figures, they want a man who makes seven figures. It's like, well, I'm already making this much money, so I need a man who makes more. Why can't you settle for a man if you're already making, let's say, $200,000, right? I mean, if I was making $200,000 and I had to choose to be with, pretend I'm single, so I could choose between a man that loves me, that cherishes me, that is loyal to me, supportive, and he all he wants to do is just to make me happy, but he makes $35,000 a year, and I choose, and then another choice would be a man who's got millions of dollars, and then with the money also comes the competition for the women, right? If he has a yacht, if he has like a private jet, if he's got a bunch of, a bunch of cars and houses and this and that, the women are gonna throw themselves at him, and they get younger, and the competition is just insane. Like, I mean, top tier, obviously, right? And that's my point, is like, what makes you think that he's going to choose you because you're making more, because you're making six figures? Well, men don't care how much women make. They don't want them to be a bum and not do anything, maybe just have a job. Even some men, if they can afford to take care of the family, the woman just be busy, I guess, so you don't get bored and self-destructive, or a lot of women, they get bored and they start cheating, and, oh well, he's never at home and I'm always at home, and it's like, okay, well, he doesn't give me enough time of the day, he's always working. It's like, well, you want him to make money, right? So he's working, and is yeah. Anyway, I get sometimes worked up thinking about this kind of stuff. So I, I mean, I've lived here for 26 years, and honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. I don't know, maybe because Ukrainian women were so down to earth and realistic that I cannot comprehend this mentality where, listen, I ever since I was a kid, my grandma told me, first they don't if the man spends too much money, he's expecting something from he's expecting to bang, okay? So always go for something simple. The same thing later in life. If the man is flaunting the money, um believe me, I've been around men like this, and they would flaunt the money, and so basically they're letting you know that, I'm here to purchase your time or whatever. And women, I guess nowadays they're watching these social medias of their friends all the time, or whatever, so-called models or whatever. I mean, I used to have the Instagram a long time ago. People would ask me if I'm a model, and I'm like, no, I take I take the same pictures all the time. It's in my room, and there's nothing professional about it. It's the same background. How can I be a model? Like, what? Ugh. Anyway, so anyway, let me just see. Okay, okay. So Western Europe is a mixed bag. So it's strand carefully. Example: Spain and Portugal have very high divorce rates. But you know what, Passport King? I'm honest. I'm being pretty honest right now. So divorce rates are so high, and I don't blame men not wanting to get married, because the woman can just get up and leave. She can the one in most for the most part, what is it, 60 some percent, 65%, 67% is that's the women that initiate um divorce, and simply because she's bored. She is bored. I watch these videos on daily, I subscribe to some modern dating for this. Believe me, I don't enjoy watching it. I most of the times I get pissed off, to be honest with you. So I limit my what's the word, anyway, my timing, how much I watch of this stuff, because it just upsets me. And men are being so mistreated here in the West, uh, on all the time. And the craziest thing also that these women don't even know how to cook. Like, if you want a high value man, right? I keep saying that to women. If you want a high value man, you have to be a high value woman. Just because you're good looking, there's so many good looking women out there. And I mean, and not to be mean or rude, but in the West, it's all most of this is plastic beauty. It's all fake nails, fake lashes, fake hair, boobs, ass. Everything is fake. Everything is fake. They start doing Botox when they're like in their 20s. I mean, what? What? But anyway, whatever you want to do to your body, I really don't care. None of my concern, just whatever. But and they're so superficial. All they care about these bags, oh, I have a Louis Vuitton bag, so I'm high value. That's the mentality that they go through, thinking that because they have some expensive bags, that brings their value somehow. I don't know. I'm proud to be shopping at Winners and Marshalls, where I spend very little compared to other stores, and I'm still dressed super nice. I don't need to break the bank to look good. And on top of everything, Ukrainian women were natural beauties. We don't need too much stuff on our face or to do much with our hair, or like I said before, I don't have nails. I don't really like nails because I clean and I cook and try to kneading the dough with long nails. Try to do anything with long nails. Anyway, okay. Let's see. You guys, come on, don't be shy. Click on the stream yard here. I sent you the link. You can come join me on live and talk to me. It's only 3 viewers. Hi, 3 viewers. Green dating. Oh, wait. Anyway, so they are very pretty, and it is obvious that the dress are expensive. Much to expect. It is very expensive club. Okay. Well, that's expects. Okay. Me, like me. I don't. I think I've been to a expensive nightclub one time in Vegas when I went to see Tiesto, and I remember getting like, what was it, shot of vodka and Red Bull, 2 shots of vodka and 2 Red Bulls, and it was over $50, and I was like, American. I was whatever. Thank you. I'm done. I'm done. What a waste. Like, and the crazy thing, there was a liquor store inside because it was in the mall. I think it was in a hotel or something, but there was a liquor store literally across this in the mall. Inside, you go outside, and then there's chairs outside, and me and my friend just went out there, got a little Mickey, had a few shots, like a little tiny one, had a few shots, and it was $4 for that little bottle. Anyway, so it's like, anyway, I, Ukrainian women were practical. Honestly, we do not want to overspend money on stupid stuff. We don't care about having these fancy bags. We don't care about. I know for myself, I don't care about jewelry. In fact, I can't stand jewelry. I don't like it. Period. I just don't. And nobody can impress me with the rings or whatever, the necklace, or these things don't impress me. Material things do not impress me, and I know for a fact a lot of Ukrainian women think the same way as I do. Honestly, yeah, okay, you have a fancy car, and then, okay, let's say you buy a Lamborghini, right? You buy a Lamborghini, next thing you know, driving it off the lot, somebody boom hits you. The amount of money is, there was somebody, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was a very it's my friend who told me this. Hmm, one of the biggest, what I remember was a huge rock star. Um, I don't know, I can't remember his name. Anyway, point being is that he said nowadays when he started, it was in like 70s or 80s when he was given this interview. He said, okay, well, yeah, I always wanted to buy a Lamborghini or something, or some muscle car. So he bought the car, but the car is so fancy that he's afraid that it's gonna get scratched, or somebody's gonna try and steal it and stuff. So he had to buy a big house with a big garage with the security cameras and all blah blah blah, just to keep the car safe. And then because of that car, he had to. Oh, I think Richard. Okay, Richard, I need to see you though on video though. And anyway, and then he had to just get a car. I mean, get a house with security, then hire bodyguards. It's like to have one fancy car for what? I personally, I see these Lamborghinis in the summertime driving around, and I'm just like, I wouldn't even rent one, to be honest with you. I don't even want to get into one. Like, I don't find them attractive, period. And did you know that Lamborghini, they used to make tractors and farming equipment? That's how they started and made, and here we are, they're making fancy cars. All right, let me see. 1 second, I'll be right with you, Richard. Just want to answer a few more. Okay, Santos, some of them probably borderline ladies of the night. Yeah, that's most likely. What when I used to work at this one fancy hotel, they would come. There would be women that dress super nice, but they didn't stay at the hotel. But they would come and sit at the bar all the time, trying to pick up some not rich rich people that stay there. Okay, okay. Ooh, oh my goodness, I need to catch up with this some other time. Hold on. So let me add you here, Richard. Hi, Richard.
How's it going?
It's going good. I see Ukrainian flag. Woohoo!
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Mhm.
Whoa. Oh, what did I just do to my monitor? Can you see me yet?
Oh
My
yeah, I
mon.
can see you.
Okay, because
Everybody can.
my monitor just went. What the heck just happened here? Uh, Let me see if I can tilt this. Can you see this?
Oh yeah, Canadian flag too. Where
Keep
are
going.
you from, Richard?
I'm from. I'm near Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh,
What
okay.
is
So
going
you are in
on
the
with my
U.S.
monitor? My monitor literally switched off. It's totally black. Oh, there we go. It's back.
Oh, there we go. Yay! Yeah,
So,
you're on my yes.
so I'm headed to a protest to protest Elon Musk today, and this is how I'm doing it. I have three shirts from Ukrainian. One says the Ukrainian heroes with the little wings, and
Mm-hmm.
just another symbol of the Ukrainian trident.
Oh, yeah. Trident, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So,
I have to be careful because this guy will press the keyboard,
oh hi, he's so cute. Oh, cats.
but
Yeah.
he wants to press buttons, and I have to be careful.
Well, he just wants your attention, I guess.
Well, I have four. Oh, where are you going? Good, good. Go away. Yeah, I have four
You have
cats.
four cats. Wow.
Mm, I certainly do.
Okay.
So,
I would.
am I on the stream with you as well?
I believe so. Yes. I see
Okay.
you here with me, so I'm thinking so. Yeah. Last time somebody joined me, that they were on the stream. So now, oh, okay. Do you have any questions for me, or
Oh no, no
what?
questions. Not at this time. I'm just here
What?
having fun.
And have you dated a lot of? Well, I don't know. What, are you dating someone right now? Do you?
I have things in motion. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And is she what? What background is she? If you don't mind me
Oh
asking.
no, let's not get into to me, and I don't want to go into any great detail at this point.
Oh yeah, that's fine. No,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely, I respect that. No, yeah. But well, so what do you? Okay, let's talk about this today's. topic. Like, do you think that modern men, well, not necessarily modern men, but because modern men, I find them, I think they're simps, to be honest with you. Well, that's my own opinion. But again, like modern women are too masculine and modern men became too feminine at this point. But do you think that men these days just kind of settle for whatever is available, or especially in the West?
I certainly hope not. I wouldn't. But
Hmm.
are we simps? I think I've got a problem with this monitor again. I don't know what's
Hmm.
going on. It went black on me. Maybe it's time to get a new monitor. It could
I
be
think
just the
so.
cable. It could be
Or
just the
it could be
cable.
the case, or
No,
what?
I I have a problem with simps because if you want to take care of somebody, it can look like simping, but is it? Depends.
Well, I find it's fine to take care of a woman if she reciprocates, and if she appreciates what you give her. That there's a difference between a woman who is entitled and feels like, well, I'm just because I showed up, you have to, you know, give me this, you have to take me to a fancy restaurant, five-star restaurant. I
Well,
recently found out I thought the five-star restaurant, I mean, besides the Michelin star, but that's a completely different category, right? But I found out that there's five, and then there's seven, there's nine-star restaurants. I had no
wow.
clue. I had no clue. And I watched this video. This lady's like, "Oh, these gold diggers want." She was complaining about the gold diggers wanting to go to nine-star restaurants. And then she also mentioned that she's okay with going to a five-star restaurant.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, like I it's just so weird to me that women think, well, I just showing up to the date and then now you have to provide me with this, but yet I don't have to bring anything to the table. In fact, they say, well, I am the table.
Hmm. Well, I can tell you about two experiences I had.
Okay.
Um, One gal, she's Ukrainian actually, and
Mhm.
she is currently in Canada.
Mhm.
And we were talking. It was from another dating site, and she's like, "Well, you need to take me to New York." And I'm like, "You're a day drive away. I'll come see you and visit you in Canada, but I'm not going to take you to New York." So that
Mhm.
didn't happen. I think
Mhm.
she's since wised up. I don't know if I've told her that. Well, I've got other things going, but if that doesn't work, there's a possibility. I said, "Hey, if you want to come to visit me, I'll get you here. We'll take you. Actually, I would fly her to Chicago, drive to Chicago, bring her to Madison because I'm about 2 hours away from
Mhm.
um, Chicago. But there's things to see in Chicago. There's things to see where I live. And then I will tell you, in the past, I actually had a gal who she's Russian, but she's
Mhm.
got a U.S. citizenship, lived in California for I don't know 15, 20 years, but currently living in Turkey. I met her when I was in Turkey. I was
Mhm.
there to see some other friends, and she was in the area, so I met her, and then invited her to come visit, see how I live with her and her
Mhm.
daughter. And boy, I'll tell you, things just changed dramatically. She became I was surprised. She's all about
Bossy.
not, she was not only bossy, but it was all about, um, let's just say financial was a big concern of hers. Why?
Well, let me tell you something about. I had somebody, one of the viewers asked me before if there's a difference between Ukrainian women and Russian women. There is a difference. I find it, especially women from Russia, from like big cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, big cities, because the life there, it's so expensive. Like
Mm,
Moscow, for example, is one of the most expensive cities in the world and has been for many, many decades. They've been competing between Tokyo and Moscow for many years. So I can see why they would feel that way, entitled, because there's a lot of rich people, especially you go to Moscow. There's even a joke. The tourist goes to Moscow and goes shopping to the cafe and looking at the prices, and he's like, "Are these prices or the phone numbers?" Right? Because they're so long, and so. There's a difference, yes, between Russian women and Ukrainian. Again, Ukraine is a small country. We don't have that many rich people there. I mean, where especially where I grew up, I think the only rich people, a rich person that I know is my grandparents' neighbor. I don't even know what he does for a living, but everybody was equally poor when I was growing up, and most Ukrainian women have the same mindset as I do. Is just very simple life as long as the bills are paid. I'm the kind of person I appreciate everything good in life, and I'm I'm more concerned about my health than anything else. Money, you can always make money. Health, once it's messed up, there's yeah, you're screwed. You know,
Yeah.
it's true. I was watching this documentary on Gaia about crap. What is it called?
Well,
Uh,
your two most important things in life are going to be health and time.
yeah, you can't recover either.
That's right.
I mean, you can get better health wise, but time is one thing that's of the essence. Once it's gone, that's why there's a saying, time is money. Because you could be making money. I could be even just relaxing, and I don't need headaches in my life. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like what like I said, after that uh, bad experience of 15 years of my life, I wanted to be single, and I
Yeah.
didn't want, because I was like, you know what, I I want to have a peace of mind. I want to be happy, and again, happiness. Nobody can provide you with happiness. It comes from within. I
But
know so many
but
people that have,
I will say that someone can enhance your existing
exactly,
happiness. They can
exactly,
make, like you said earlier, a woman can make or break you.
yeah.
It's so true.
And the thing is that, yeah, enhance, exactly. You can meet somebody who brings the best out in you, which is in my case, right? I met
For
somebody who,
well, for example, I can travel if I want to now when I
Mhm.
want, but it's much more fun to travel with someone and make memories together than
Yeah,
it is to do it alone. Because,
yeah,
later on, if you want to share those memories, who are you going to do that with? My cat?
yeah. And then the cat be like, yeah, where's my treat? I really don't need to see
Well,
these pictures.
actually, they're the treats.
I was like, what? You shook it and didn't give it to me. It's like,
Oh,
I'm gonna press some buttons.
they're actually our treats down there. He just doesn't see them. Here, look at this. Here, here, buddy. Now he sees them. But anyway,
And I can see his butt. It's
move.
okay.
Meow.
I've had a cat for 15 years, so take care of one.
This is the worst time of year to have cats because when it gets springtime, they start shedding. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna, and there's hair everywhere. Are you gonna?
And there's
Do
also,
not sit on my keyboard. Oh, come on, stay over here. Now, you want to fight? He's feisty.
hmm, that's how
He
cats
wants
are.
to fight now.
There we go.
Yeah. Go on with your presentation.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
thank
think
you so. Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm going to do is try and fix my monitor because it's still
Okay.
black. I can't see what's going on.
Okay.
I'm gonna reboot and see if there's a
Okay. And
missing
then come.
cable.
You
Then
can
I'll be
come back.
back. I'll be
Okay.
back.
Sounds good. Okay. All right, you guys. Okay. So now I'm gonna get back to answer, going through your. It was really nice to see somebody. Finally, somebody's visited me. Okay, password king. That is quite expected in such clubs. They come there looking for a hookup and fancy men who will shower them with money and gifts and tour them London. Yeah, you know what? I'll, but the joke is on them, because I know I've been in this club scene before when I was in my 20s, not because I really enjoyed it much, but my best friend, she was the it girl in Calgary, so she loved to go, and we lived together. It was like Long story short, she dragged me everywhere. Even if I wanted to say no, I was just like guilt tripping me and stuff. And so I've been to clubs and guys that flaunt the money at the club all the time and throwing it around and making it rain and stuff like that. Usually, either drug dealers or some kind of low lives, gangsters want to be, because they can't really go and buy um, real estate because that money is illegal. So what they do is just go shopping for clothes and just making it rain and showing off in front of these gullible women. They think, oh my God, he's so rich. Oh my God. It's like, yeah, honey, he's going to be in jail soon. So what, yeah, I don't know. Club is the last place is where you should be looking for your mate, like life partner. I mean, even the gym I wouldn't recommend, to be honest with you. Mm-mm. Um, library maybe, but then nobody goes to library. Every single time I go to the library, it's usually little kids running around like printing stuff out. Not many people go to libraries these days, but anyway, let's see. Okay, because women that think that way want to spend the man's money but keep her money to herself. Yes, they want a well-off simp. Exactly. They still will probably cheat because that man is too easy. One thing I have to be, yeah, simps. And again, I do understand where the simps are coming from. Like they're either lonely and they want to be with somebody, but when you're going for a woman that's out of your league and you are trying to impress her with money, she already knows that she can use you. So my advice is that don't. Save your money. Yeah, you might rent her for a little bit, but she will never be yours. So unless you have tons of money, yeah, okay. But then once the money runs out or whatever happens, or she finds somebody who has more money, she's gonna move on. So I totally understand. Like some men are just lonely, and I know, I know this, but I don't recommend leading with money. Is number one mistake for any man. Do not ever lead with money. And if you'll see, and if she starts asking, well, why aren't you taking me here or there, she's a gold digger, then go walk away as well. I I don't know. It's easier for me to say this, but I don't know. Some men are pretty desperate, and they are just. I've seen this happen before. That friend that I used to have, that she was the it girl. She had this guy who was head over heels of, like, he was so in love with her, and she destroyed him. She destroyed his life completely, like just completely demolished him. Okay, and he was a multimillionaire before he met her. He had a mansion on the lake, right? Like his backyard was right on the lake. You go out on the lake, there's a boat. He had everything until he met her. And then after that, he was a homeless man. Homeless, do you understand? Homeless, not just lost a little bit of money. He lost his mansion. He bought a different expensive $500,000 townhouse. He lost that, and she destroyed him. Not just financially she destroyed him, but she destroyed him mentally, emotionally. He was a mess. He was a mess. I don't know what even happened to him, if he's still alive or whatnot. But hi, yes, Richard, I see you. 1 second, let me just see a couple more comments here. Okay, do do do. Shocked the other people. Shocked those high-end designer bags are actually made in China. Well, that's what I kept saying to people. Like, why? What they do, they make it in China, they ship it to Italy, they put a logo thing, and that's it. I mean, and they're paying thousands of dollars. And Birkin bags, like I said, I recently learned what Birkin's bag are, how much they cost. Some of them are even $100,000. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, I don't know if I should say this word or not, but retarded, because I can't, stupid does not even define it. Okay, as soon as a new car, yeah, it's 30% exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I keep saying. And imagine buying this car, Lamborghini, you drive it off the lot, boom, somebody smash it. I have a funny story. I knew somebody who bought a fancy car as well. I paid, um, was a Corvette or something. It was like custom made, whatnot. It was over $100,000. Driving it off the lot, going around the block, and it got hit, and it was totaled, completely totaled. I was like, why? Anyway, all right, Richard. Let me get okay. Here you are.
Back
How's
again.
the everything is working now?
Well, when I turned the monitor, it pulled out a cable. That's what it was.
Oh, okay, now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know.
And my cat came over and he wanted to fight with me, but I got rid of him.
Okay, good, good. So
So where are the rest of the guys? They don't want to be on
I
video.
guess they're shy. I've had a few people before that would come, but you're the first one in months. Guys just super shy. Maybe they want to be seen on the camera. And we have rules. You can't just come here and talk unless you need to be on camera, and you need to wear a shirt. Because I've had guys coming in and they're just lying in bed naked, and I'm like, hey, dude, no, no, no. This is not that kind of podcast here. You need to go to OnlyFans, not here.
Oh, that's a way to make. Maybe I could
Well, that's
make
another
some
thing.
money.
Like a lot of women in the West, I heard there's like 3 million women that are on OnlyFans these days, and they go on podcasts as well, and they're like, well, I need a high value man because I'm making million. Some of them, there's one that makes 49 million a year. Okay, she gets paid more than NFL and basketball players. All right, and she claims she's a Christian girl and she's a virgin or whatever. Okay, but even these women, they have the audacity to say, well, yeah, I'm an OnlyFans model, but I make so much money, so I want somebody who makes more than I do. It's like, okay, good luck, I guess. I mean, it just doesn't
Gotcha.
make any sense. So what about your area? What kind of women you got there?
Hmm. Oh, what kind of women do I have here? I'm
What's
not
your
looking.
dating
I'm not looking here, so I can't answer that question. I
Mhm.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even consider it anymore.
Yeah. Do you know any of your friends got divorced? Have you been ever married, or if
Yes, I have been married. I've been divorced.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah.
and you've had enough of it?
Well, it's not pleasant. It's not fun. It's not the best experience of your life, and
Yeah,
it's very expensive. Choosing wrong is very expensive.
right. And I also tell people that weddings alone are expensive. If you think the wedding is expensive, think about the divorce.
No, no, I don't
Because
remember. I don't remember if it was you or the gal who's on Sundays who
Mhm,
talked about
Irina.
not having a real expensive wedding. I would rather spend that money on, well, I had a wedding that was, it was a good party, but
Mhm.
I would rather spend it on going somewhere on a vacation than the wedding itself. To me, that's just kind of at this point.
I've said that
It's
before because I think so too. To me, I don't even like weddings. It's just too much pressure. The bride is always losing her mind, whatever. I don't want to. I was actually a maid of honor for my friend's uh, wedding because I introduced them. But I told her straight up, I'm like, if you want me to get involved into this, going shopping with you and all this, I don't want to get your sister to do it because her sister wanted to. But she's like, well, you introduced me to my husband, so because of you. And I'm like, well, exclude me from this because I'm not doing it. I don't need your headache in my head. Really
There,
don't
there's
need
a
this.
there's a big difference from the first wedding, and if you have a second one,
Mhm.
there's a big difference. That
Well,
it
I've
goes.
always thought that why, like, first of all, you'd always invite, like, especially, I mean, in Ukraine, I remember when my cousin was getting married, it was only family and friends. So it's not like 200 people or 100 people. Like, it was, I don't know, 30 people maybe, tops, just family and friends. And it was very simple. Most of the food that was catered, it was the women from in our family. We got together and we cooked together, right? It was just they rented out a hall, but that was it. But everything, all the food, we cooked together. So there was
So
nothing to.
so this is obviously a difference between a Russian wedding and a Ukrainian wedding, perhaps, because I've
Mhm.
heard about the Russian weddings how they go on for a day, and it's a lot of partying.
Yeah, some maybe, like people like to drink and party. It's alcohol is, unfortunately, it's a day to day, thing for most people in former USSR. Okay, Eastern Europe as well. Everybody drinks, and not just like a beer. Um, so there's a lot of, again, I guess there's a lot of abuse,
Hmm.
like domestic abuse, because of alcohol involvement, right? But yeah,
Well, I,
but
I would not say that the United States is immune from drinking alcohol, but
oh,
I would wager to say there's probably less abuse because it's enforced better here.
mhm. Well, and another thing, with in US, women are very like protected. In Ukraine and Russia, domestic disputes, cops don't, most of the times, they don't even want to get involved. So they're like, yeah, sort it out yourself. Unless somebody's bleeding out, they don't care to come.
Jeez.
So, so what's going on? Like, the woman gets beaten most of the times, and even if she goes to the police, and the police are like, well, what did you do for him to hit you? You know. So that's the the main reason why so many divorces out there. A lot of alcohol involved, and a lot of abuse.
If it gets to that point, they shouldn't be together anyway.
Well, that's why the Ukrainian women, they leave, and the reason why they get married so young, because uh, most Ukrainians very religious, Christians. So they, before they, they don't want to live together unless they're married, because it's a sin in the eyes of the God. So they get married young because they want to live together. They want to have sex every day, and they feel like, oh, we're in love, blah blah blah. And then what they don't realize, that living together, it's not like dating and seeing each other and staying at each other's place. It's completely different once you move
Are
in
you talking
together.
about the men or the women in that situation?
I'm talking about both, honestly, because, like I said, people very religious in Ukraine, so they do want to get married, and they think this is the right thing to do, and get married very young. When I was still in Ukraine and going to high school, one of my classmates, she just turned 16, and she was already pregnant, and she was getting married to a guy who was 38 years old. And he, like, we went to her wedding, which was just a little party at the, like, they went to city hall, and then there was a party at her parents' place because he moved in there. And we were standing on the balcony, everybody left, and I was just getting some fresh air, and he was drunk and he was groping me, and I'm like, what the hell? Then 6 months later, he left her for a 15-year-old. Anyway, so that's my point, and Ukrainian women just put up with this because we have a shortages of men in Ukraine, and especially good men. And now with the war going on, less and less men. Um, and we're just realistic. we don't really need all the fancy stuff, because we just that's I was talking to my friend not too long ago. I reconnected with my best friend. We kind of had a falling out because she changed the number and stuff. Um, anyway, and just talking to her, and she was saying that it's getting a little bit better in Ukraine. Because before it was just, when I was leaving, it's just bad. It was bad. Like the whole system, the whole everything, it was really bad. But now she says it's getting a little bit better, or to like even they're getting buying stuff that from US, even like same. We're talking about cosmetics, like creams and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting the same stuff here, so we're moving up in the world, because in the 90s when the USSR broke down, it was brutal. It was so bad. I but people think, oh, Ukraine, it was third world country at
If
that
I
point.
if I can interrupt you, I watched
Yeah.
I watched some current YouTubers. There's one gal, and she's doing a broadcast from Kyiv pretty much daily. Kyiv
Hmm.
looks like a really modern, very nice city, in my opinion. I'd love to go there someday, but it's not going to happen right now.
Yeah.
It looks like everything you'd want is there. And
Well.
in regard to
Hmm.
the difference of men, I've also heard that yeah, that was something in more of the past, or
Yeah.
more of the women probably my age, because of the Great Patriotic War, as the Soviet Union like it to be called,
Hmm.
or from the Stalin purges and all that. But the younger generation, there's not such a difference in age, numbers of men and women in the younger groups is what I've heard. Again, not being there, I don't know.
Well, I talk to my brother all the time. He says, well, right now, because most men were drafted to war, right?
But
Or,
what age group were drafted? I think aren't they're not
from
drafting people who are
18,
younger.
18 to 16.
Oh, they're
And they
doing
even
18. They're doing 18 now because
they've
before they
always done
weren't.
18. 18, it's mandatory. Once you turn 18, it's mandatory you join the army. You have no choice unless
Mm,
you either are full-time in school, and then after you finish school, then you get drafted, or unless you are mentally unstable or disabled, like physically disabled, and you can't. Or number three is that you have a lot of money and you can pay it off, and but it's not like one time you pay it off. They'll be like, okay, we'll leave you alone for now, but then you have
mm.
to keep paying not to go.
Well, I kept
So,
hearing all this news in the United States about how they wanted. Maybe they're not sending the younger men to the front line. Maybe they're just training them, because there's been a lot of information on the news here about how Ukraine is not utilizing all of their men.
well, the crazy thing is that now that I've lived here in Canada for 26 years, in May it will be 26 years. The thing is, so many Ukrainians came here, and most of these Ukrainians they come as couples or families. Tons of, and even some single guys I know came just by themselves here, and they don't have a girlfriend or a wife, so they escaped, I guess, from Ukraine to like Poland, and from there they seeked asylum. But a
Hmm.
lot of Ukrainian women just chickened out and left.
Have,
They
have have you
they don't
told
want to
us?
be
Have you told
shooting
us
people.
what city you are in Canada? I'm just curious.
Oh, in Calgary, in Alberta,
Okay, I'm trying to think where that
on
is.
the western, on so
Oh,
the
it's west. Okay.
Vancouver, BC, then next
Vancouver.
Alberta.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Vancouver.
yeah.
You're
Well,
you're
that's
on the
where we have all the oil here. We are the ones that are feeding the whole entire country.
you're on the
Canada.
California side of Canada. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
underneath.
And
I
and
mean,
I and
up
I'm
on top. Right. Yeah.
and I'm central by the Great Lakes.
Oh, okay. So you're like been somewhere
Yeah.
Saskatchewan, Manitoba. That's where the middle of yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, listen, I am out of time here.
Oh, what time is it?
I will have to let you
Oh,
go. Like, I have things to do, and I'm also
I've
done.
got a protest to go to.
Right, right. So you're protesting against
I'm a it's I like Tesla vehicles. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm not
Mm-hmm.
happy with Elon Musk and his involvement with government. And I'm totally anti-Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like Trump when he was on TV as a TV show. I
He's a
despised him
liar.
then. He's a narcissist. He's a
Ah,
liar. He's a convicted felon. How
yeah.
can people vote for a convicted criminal? I don't understand. You know, Ukrainians would ask me, "Is Trump going to win?" And I said, "There's no way in hell he's going to win." I
Mm-hmm.
was in shock again. That's twice. I didn't think he would win either time.
You know what? I don't like Trump, and I really don't care. I mean, yeah, politics directly impact our lives, of course. I knew he was gonna win, and the reason why I knew he was gonna win because Kamala is just. I mean, how can like it's Dumb and Dumber. Who do you pick, right? Kind of. If they had a better candidate, he wouldn't have stand. He wouldn't have stood the
as
chance.
as I like to tell people when it comes to politics, sometimes you have to vote for the principles behind the people as
Yeah,
opposed to the individual. And
yeah.
I voted Republican in my past life,
Mm-hmm,
not recently, but I have. But
mm-hmm.
the Republican Party, as I knew it when I was younger, doesn't exist anymore. MAGA is not Republican.
Yeah.
They're it's a cult. And I'm sorry, guys, if you're part of MAGA, I just I it's all about the rich, and if you think you're going to get something, you're being misinformed. I feel sorry for our young people. They're not going to
Mm-hmm,
have the ability to have a retirement like I'm lucky to have now. It's not going to
mm-hmm.
happen. It's because the greed, the wealth is all shifted to the top.
Yeah, of course. Well, the way I looked at it, I was even talking to my man about this. I'm like, he's threatening with these tariffs, and then does not really push the tariffs. But then is he playing with the Wall Street? You know, with the
Trump
trade.
doesn't have a plan. If you think he has a
Well, no,
plan,
I don't. No, I honestly don't think he has a plan. But maybe because the stocks
how does
went down, so they could have bought the stocks, sold the I mean, that's what
yeah.
I would have done if I knew which stocks to sell and buy.
Well,
Because at that point,
do you know only 26, I just heard the statistic and I haven't
mhm,
verified it, but they were saying only 26% of United States citizens even have enough money to be invested into the stock market. Okay? And then of the top 1%, they own over, was it half of the stock market or something? It was ridiculous numbers.
yeah. Well, it's
So
it's that's how.
why are we talking about
Yeah, right.
politics when we should be talking about hot, attractive, good-looking, wonderful Ukrainian women?
Yeah, that's true. Most, not all, but most. The other, yeah. The one thing I do like about Ukrainian women, that we are natural. It's number one, and number two, we're really health conscious. So I mean, I've been cooking ever since I was 5 years old, and I cook from scratch. Most of the things I make is from scratch, especially if I have my time on my hands. Yeah, I make everything. I make my own pickles. I make. I haven't baked bread yet, but I make flatbread. I make other pastries and stuff. So
So it's interesting you say about this. You talk about food because one Ukrainian woman I know, her daughter is been in the United States for 2 years, finishing up high school. And I
mhm.
asked, "What does your daughter think? What does your daughter think of the United States?" And the biggest thing she misses is the Ukrainian food. And
Yeah,
some of these videos that I've watched from this lady who streams about Kiev, it's it's the food looks fantastic, and she goes into the supermarket. I'm like,
and it's healthy.
it looks
It's
great.
healthy.
It looks great. American food. We
You can't even call it food. What do you mean? I'm sorry to say this. I'm not sorry. I'm just gonna call it as it is.
the reality is
The
true.
government is poisoning the population to make them feel dumber. They put fluoride in water, which they do here too, but that just messes up your brain. That's
Yeah.
what they even used to do in World War II. They would sneak into the Nazis camp and poison and add fluoride in the water, and they drink it, and in the morning the Nazis couldn't even comprehend what the heck was going on. They just go and kill them. And then they need pharmaceuticals to come and save these people because they got diabetes and this and that and cancer. I've never heard of cancer like it is like here it's normal. Every fourth person or fifth person has cancer or diabetes and stuff. In Ukraine, this doesn't happen. This is so weird for me when I first came here. The cancer. I'm like, what is going on here? But it's because the food is poison, and then the pharmaceuticals swoop in to save you, and then you take one pill which gives you three side effects. Then you have to take three other pills, to suppress those side effects. And then and then I've seen documentaries on people and diseases and stuff, and there's some people that take 50 pills a day.
Oh, you know
What?
my mother?
What?
It's taking all those pills every day. I don't know how many she takes, but it's a handful.
Yeah, like other than vitamins that my body is lacking,
Yeah,
I do not take anything else. Like I
yeah.
don't I don't even get headaches. That's I
Well,
haven't had a headache
you're
in
too young for headaches. Wait until you get to
I'm
be my
I'll be
age, then you'll get a
44. I'll be
headache.
44, and I've honestly never, like, I don't
Uh,
remember having many headaches in my life.
and what would you guess my age is?
I would say the late 50s, 57.
I love your answer, but you're way off.
Okay, well, that's okay. So how? Okay, what's the bracket? Don't tell me exact age.
I'm retired.
Okay, so you're okay. So 65 is the retiring age.
Bingo.
Okay, there you go. Well, you look good. Maybe because you've been single for a while. No headaches?
No, I'm
Or
only being single is not my desire. I think that men and women are meant to be together, and I would
exactly.
rather be in a relationship with one person. I'll tell you that 2 years ago, if you told me I was going to be a single again, I would have said there's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, things weren't going well, but I didn't think they were going to end up the way they did.
Well, see, another thing I find it in uh here in the West, people just so they give up on the relationship sometimes so easy. Women get filed for divorce because they're bored in the relationship. Whatever happened through thick or thin,
Yeah.
through
Well,
health and sickness and health, right? Whatever happened to those vows where it's the relationship is hard work, but I mean, if you're working and working and working on the relationship and the other person doesn't really do much, then of course it's doomed, right?
listen, there's guilt on both sides, and I admit
Yeah.
that. So it's just I can't
Mhm.
blame the other person. I'm as guilty as they
Yeah.
are. So let's leave it there, and
No, no,
just
I'm just
you,
talking about in general, not talking about your case because I really don't know. I'm even talking about in my case, right?
oh,
Because I
okay.
was the one working on the relationship for so long, and then I just simply gave up because
It
after
happens.
15 years, I just realized that this
You
person
you
is never going to change.
you only live once.
Exactly, right? That's why I thought to myself, I'd rather be single for the rest of my life, but have a peace of mind. I don't need abuse, and
Yeah.
I just want to be happy. And it just so happened that, and one thing, once it was in the video, the guy mentioned, once you detach yourself from most things, you attract. Okay, I know when I detach myself from, I don't care about anything other than health and happiness comes from within. I feel like my life started getting better because I'm not concerned about this or that. I just, whatever happens, happens. I can't complain about my life because number one, I'm healthy, and I take pride in the food that I eat. What people don't understand, that what you put in your body, that's why there's a saying, you are what you eat, right?
I'm an avocado today because that's all I had so far.
Well, avocado, it's superfood, so you should eat it every day
Yeah.
if you can afford them. I also put it on my skin. It's actually super good. So if whenever you eat avocado, you scrape the ones on from the
The
outer
skin,
layer.
the skin.
Yeah, the skin. Yeah, right. Duh. Yeah, and then just rub it in your face and leave it for like 20 minutes, a half an hour until it like completely
You put on the
dries
green.
out.
You got to put on a green mask like that movie. What was the movie with the green
Oh
mask?
yeah, it's called mask. The mask, right?
The
Yeah,
green
yeah. Just
mask.
put it on,
Was it
and
John
and
Kerry with the
Jim Carrey. Yes,
Jim
yes.
Carrey?
It's actually one of my favorite movies of his. He's
Okay.
Canadian. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much, Richard, for
Thank you.
being
Bye bye.
here. I really appreciate it, and really nice to put face to to your name and your comments. I really appreciate you being here. I'm gonna sign you out and sign
Okay. See
myself
ya.
out as well. You
Take
have a
care.
okay. Happy Easter. I don't know if you celebrate it, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Tomorrow I'll be going to my mother's with a big family event, and actually one of my nephews has married a Ukrainian girl, and she'll
Hmm.
probably be there with her sister, who's from Ukraine. So,
Hmm.
um,
Oh, you're gonna have some Ukrainian food. I guarantee it.
I don't. My mother usually does the cooking. I don't know if they'll. I've seen these Ukrainian Easter cakes, these round ones. It'd be
Yeah, yeah,
interesting to
yeah,
try
yeah.
one
My
of
great
those.
grandma used to make those. They're called pascha.
Again, please.
It's
Pas
called pascha.
pot like
I'll just
Passover pasta.
I'll write it
All
here.
right,
I'll
all
write
right,
it here.
all right. Take care. Get going.
Yeah.
Go,
Okay.
go, go.
Okay. Thank you, Richard. It was really nice to meet you. Bye. Okay. Pascha is pas. Okay. Ha. That's how you say it, because if I write it together as an H, it's gonna be shot, but it's Pascha. Anyway, you guys, I really appreciate you coming here, and I should have. Anyway, I totally forgot about putting this thing on because okay, there you go. You guys, if you want to meet a good, loving and caring and nurturing Ukrainian woman, please sign up here. It's free, coaching and matchmaking, and check out the ladies. They're beautiful, they're sweet, they're kind, they're caring, and they don't care about how much money you make or how many inches for that matter. Okay. So thank you so much, guys, for being here again. I really appreciate Richard coming, and appreciate you guys always coming and supporting me. And don't forget to come tomorrow and see Irina as well. And I'm gonna play the last video of my podcast that I always do. Love you guys.
Hi guys. Say, have you ever wondered how us, beautiful Ukrainian women, rate you? Well, now you can go calculate your score at your